okay. So setup-wise, decent, okay. There is an element on occasions where you sort of go forward, I say, with your posture, sort of, you do lose a little bit of height. But takeaway here is good. You watch as the club goes back. That club now, for me, is a little bit more kind of toe up, so slightly open. Then as you keep going now, at this point here, you can see the face on that sort of shaft, that wrist sort of hinging and cupping up. At this point here now, there's quite a bit of cup there in your on your trail wrist there. As you get to the top of the backswing, and the club face, as you can see now at this point, facing down to the ground, so that's quite open relative to the golf ball. And then when you come back to golf, if that club face is aiming kind of over there, you're now going to make this sort of drop into the golf ball, and that's where the drop comes in. Sometimes you're losing your height. You bring the club forward, you see the shaft now, potential to sort of shank it. You either shank it or pull your arms in or flick the wrist, one of the three, or a combination of all the above, and that might fix the shot and it might be okay. But as I said, it's a very kind of inconsistent way to hit a ball straight, and the face control is gone. So that was your backswing there. We've got this one here now. So club there, again, still slightly open. If we get the top there now, your left wrist, I would say, is a little bit flatter. The club face now is more here. There's your left arm. So we're maintaining a bit of height, getting that club in a better position. As the club starts coming back down now into the shaft, with the next frame's the better one. There you go. Shaft, you can see now, is left of the golf ball. Okay, whereas this one we saw when you came back down, it was thrown over the top more. Bigger drop into the golf ball. Shaft now kind of, yes, dissecting the edge of the ball there, but certainly getting further over this way than we want to, okay? And then through the ball now, we can just rotate and release. So without the feeling or the need to flick it and square the club. So I think in the past, when the ball was obviously on, I guess, the weekend, hitting sort of shape of shots that you said were kind of coming in this way, people, rather than fix the face that's being open, they just sort of close it mid-swing.
Yeah.
And then after enough shots, eventually the ball might go that way, but now what sacrifice? Oh, I'm striking it fat, but it's going straight. Okay, now I'm fat, now I'll start thinning it. Or how are you going to start thinning it? Okay, I'll start rising the club out, and now you start slicing it. So you just keep going round in circles, going fat, thin, slice, hook, fat, thin, slice. Yeah. Don't know where the ball's going to go. Then as we add into the variables, the lie could be a bit undulating on one fair, in the ball below your feet, ball above your feet, wind off the right, wind off the left, rough fair. There's a lot going on in there. And if you're relying on that kind of timing to be perfect, and if you get lots of shots in a row, and this is why the range session can sometimes be good. You've just hit a lot of balls on a range and got into a groove that day, and you started hitting the ball well that day. But have you really challenged yourself maybe as much as you could have done? I don't know, you might have done, but could you stay on the range and okay, I'll hit the ball really nicely, but I only hitting 1 7-9, then a 5-9, then a wedge, then a 3-wood, then a 9-9, and always changing, not 10 7-9s and like 6 were good and the last 4 of them were really good. Yeah, okay, great, but the first 4 or 5 weren't as good. Yeah, so make it a bit more of a challenge. So it's just okay. If you want, once you hit one good shot with one club, change straight away. Yeah. And then another good one with another club, and then change straight away. And how quick, in some ways, I used to do the challenge with all these kids and stuff and say, right, you got to hit 20 balls and you got to try and change a golf club as many times as possible, but you can only change when you hit a good shot. Right. So if you change it, if you hit a good shot, first one, boom, change it. If it's a crap shot, you hit another one. Oh, another one again. So then you've got to try and hit a good one to get the change of the next club, and then you change to a different club, so now you can't rely on the timing of the old one if that's the way you did it. Yeah. So it makes practice a little bit more purposeful rather than sort of just keep hitting golf balls and getting the groove. That for me is going to be the key thing, getting that left hand wrist a little bit, left wrist a bit flatter, so your wrist is sort of, right palm's going to face the sky a bit. Want this club to be more in that line rather than down there, so your club face effectively is like sort of 30-40 degrees open. So when you come back to golf, if your club's aiming 30 degrees right, you've got to do an awful lot of flick release, which you're good enough at times to do. But the problem is when it doesn't quite work out, or where you're a bit cold, a bit stiff, different time, whatever it may be, the consistency of strike's gone. All right, so work on that right wrist, or that left wrist staying flatter. You want to get the top of the bat a bit more this way, so that is flatter there, and the club face more in line, rather than if I zoom on these club face, you'll see me a bit more clearly. There you go. So this, the club shaft now and the golf club are kind of more in line, where that one is. That's not there, it's down there. Yeah. So your club being open, you've got to do something.
Gotcha.
And you were good at doing something, but just lost that goodness. You say, my good English there, yeah? My goodish English, all right? So work on getting the club face straighter and square to start with. And I think be aware that palm drill we talked about there with the club, open palm hand grip with the right palm. Pressure, push, down, in. And just keep doing that till you just feel what the palm's doing. And it's almost like if you're gonna stand there and sort of hit the edge of this chair leg here now with your palm, you'd kind of do it that way. You wouldn't go... and try and rotate, which wouldn't make any logical sense. If you're going to, get like a low fight, leave me a low fight, you can go, hang on, and roll your hand over. Your wrist's going to go back, and you're going to come and kind of basically palm the club more in line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Good stuff. Right.